Rain poured relentlessly over the small town of Maplewood, as if the heavens themselves were crying for Emily. Today was supposed to be the happiest day of her life, the day she walked down the aisle, wrapped in white lace, and embraced a future full of hope. But as she wheeled herself into the grand hall, every smile around her felt like a dagger. Her fiancé had abandoned her days before the wedding, unable to accept her life in a wheelchair after the accident that had paralyzed her from the waist down. Friends whispered politely, neighbors avoided her gaze, and photographers hesitated as if capturing her pain might stain the pictures forever. Emily's heart felt heavier than ever. The fairy tale she had imagined was shattered into fragments she could never piece together alone. Before I continue, if you believe in kindness and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Grandma Dearie. Every act of love matters, and this story proves it. For years, Emily had battled not just the physical limitations imposed by her paralysis, but the invisible scars of rejection. She had loved fiercely, dreamed openly, and trusted wholeheartedly, only to have the world respond with hesitation, discomfort, or outright cruelty. But beneath the fear and heartbreak, there was an unyielding spark of hope that refused to die, a belief that life could surprise her in ways she never imagined. She moved through her days with quiet courage, working as a freelance illustrator from her small apartment, sketching worlds full of color and possibility that she could no longer explore on foot. Yet the isolation gnawed at her, reminding her constantly of what she had lost: love, companionship, and the simple comfort of someone who truly saw her. Then, one rainy afternoon, as she arranged flowers for her canceled wedding in the hall that still smelled faintly of lilies, her world shifted. A man appeared at the doorway, a single father named Daniel, his son clinging to his side. He was rugged and warm, with eyes that held both hardship and unwavering kindness. He had heard about Emily's heartbreak through the town's whispers, but what drew him to her was not pity. It was something deeper, something rare, the courage she radiated despite unimaginable pain. Daniel had been alone for too long, raising his son after a sudden divorce, and the sight of Emily, strong, creative, and dignified even in sorrow, ignited something in him that he couldn't ignore. He approached her without hesitation, offering a hand not to lift her, but to stand beside her in solidarity. Their connection was immediate, yet it didn't come without struggle. Emily had learned to protect herself from disappointment. Her walls were tall and fortified with past betrayals. Daniel, too, had scars: financial struggles, the constant weight of responsibility, and a fear of loving again. But slowly, their worlds began to intertwine. Daniel would bring his son over to watch Emily sketch, his laughter filling the apartment with warmth she had almost forgotten existed. They shared quiet dinners, walks in the park where Daniel pushed Emily's wheelchair, and conversations that stretched into the night, weaving dreams and fears together in a tapestry of hope. Then came the day Daniel did the unthinkable. He proposed to Emily in front of her canceled wedding hall, the very place where her heart had broken. He didn't kneel in a traditional sweep of grandeur. He knelt beside her wheelchair, holding both her hand and her dreams in a single, unshakable gesture. He spoke not of pity, not of bravery or courage, but of love that saw her entirely, her laughter, her art, her resilience, and the indomitable spirit that had captivated him from the start. Emily, tears streaming down her cheeks, felt a surge of emotion that words could barely capture. She had waited for someone who saw her, not for her struggles, but for the woman she was, and in that moment she finally did. The wedding was a quiet, heartfelt ceremony in the very hall that had once felt so empty. Sunlight streamed through the windows, catching on her wheelchair and the lace of her dress, transforming the once sorrowful space into one of joy and triumph. Daniel's son served as the ring-bearer, his small hands trembling with excitement as he placed the bands on their fingers. Friends who had doubted returned with apologies and smiles, but Emily hardly noticed. The world outside had faded, only the warmth of love, acceptance, and second chances remained. As she and Daniel shared their first dance, she felt the freedom she had thought lost forever, the freedom to love, to be seen, and to embrace a life filled with possibility. The journey had been painful, filled with heartbreak and rejection, yet it had also been transformative. Emily learned that true love doesn't ask for perfection, and that the heart has an extraordinary capacity to heal and forgive. Daniel learned that courage is not in grand gestures alone, but in the quiet, steadfast choice to stand by someone's side even when the world doubts you. And together, they proved that sometimes the universe's harshest tests are simply preparation for the most beautiful victories. If this story touched your heart, please engage with the video, like, comment, and share it to spread a message of hope and compassion. And before you go, I'd love for you to leave a comment sharing your thoughts on second chances and unexpected love. Your story might inspire someone else today.